Jai Hind everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Today I'm going to describe my short story Honesty in Professional and Personal Life. The morning sun had just begun to spread its golden light across the quiet town when Arav stood near the window of his home preparing for another busy day. He was an ordinary professional with an extraordinary belief that honesty was the strongest foundation upon which a meaningful life could be built. Every day presented new opportunities, new responsibilities, and new decisions, but he had always believed that no achievement could ever be truly satisfying unless it was earned through truthfulness, integrity, and sincere efforts. His parents had taught him from childhood that honesty was not simply about speaking the truth, but about living truthfully in every action, whether someone was watching or not. Those lessons had become the guiding principles of his professional and personal life. As Arav looked around his modest home, he realized that genuine happiness did not come from expensive possessions but from the peace that had filled every corner of the house. His parents trusted him completely. His wife respected his decisions, his children admired his correct character, and his friends valued his advice because they knew that he would never intentionally mislead anyone. Trust had become the greatest wealth of his family. It had been earned through countless honest conversations, fulfilled promises, and responsible actions over many years. This realization reminded him that honesty was not a single event but a lifelong journey that shaped every relationship and life and every opportunity. At work, Arav was respected not because he held the highest position but because his colleagues knew they could depend on him. Whenever challenges arose, people naturally approached him because they believed his opinions were sincere and unbiased. He never exaggerated his achievements, he never claimed credit for another person's work, he never hesitated to acknowledge the contributions of his teammates. His quiet integrity inspired confidence without demanding attention. He understood that professional excellence was not measured only by productivity or profit, but also by the ethical values that guided every decision. His children often asked why people admire honesty so much when dishonesty sometimes appeared to provide quicker rewards. Arav would smile gently and explain that dishonest gains might seem attractive for a short period, but they rarely brought lasting happiness or respect. Honest achievements, on the other hand, created satisfaction that remains throughout life because they were supported by self respect and the trust of others. He believed that the greatest inheritance parents could leave for their children was not wealth but a strong moral character rooted in honesty. One evening, while sitting together as a family, Arav shared a simple thought that stayed with everyone. He said that life constantly offers two. One may appear easier because it relies on shortcuts and deceptions, and while the other may demand patience and courage because it is guided by the Although the second path may occasionally seem more difficult, it ultimately leads to lasting success, genuine friendships, and peaceful relationships, and meaningful achievements. His children listened carefully, realizing that honesty was not merely a lesson from textbooks but a practical principle for everyday living. From that day onward, the family made a conscious effort to practice honesty in every situation, whether discussing finances, admitting mistakes, helping neighbors, completing school assignments, or fulfilling professional responsibilities. They discovered that honesty simplified life because there was nothing to hide, nothing to fear, and nothing to remember except the truth. Every honest decision strengthened their confidence and deepened the trust they shared with one another. Gradually, honesty became not only a family value but also the identity by which others recognized them. The true meaning of honesty. As time passed, Arav reflected more deeply on what honesty truly meant. He realized that many people associated honesty with only speaking the truth, yet its meaning expanded far beyond words. Honesty meant acting with fairness, fulfilling commitments, respecting others' rights, accepting responsibility, maintaining transparency, and making ethical decisions even when doing so required personal sacrifice. It represented harmony between thoughts, words, and actions. A truly honest person did not need different personalities for home, office, or society because integrity remained consistent everywhere. He explained to his children that honesty could be compared to the roots of a large tree, where the branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits were visible to everyone. The roots remained hidden beyond the ground, beneath the ground. Yet, without strong roots, the tree could never survive strong to produce healthy fruit. Similarly, honesty often remained unnoticed in daily life because people simply fulfilled their responsibilities quietly. However, when difficulties appeared, it became the inner strength that helped individuals remain calm, confident, and respected. Character, like roots, supported every visible success. The family also learned that honesty involved respecting other people's times and efforts, arriving punctually, completing responsibilities sincerely, returning borrowed items promptly, acknowledging mistakes, and giving proper credit to others were all expressions of honesty. These small actions might seem ordinary, yet together they form the foundation of trustworthy relationships. Over the years, people came to recognize the family not because they spoke frequently, but honesty, but about honesty, but because they consistently practiced it. Honesty within the family became the first school where honesty was practiced every day. Whenever misunderstandings occurred, family members discussed them openly instead of allowing assumptions to grow. If someone made an error, they accepted responsibility rather than a shifting blame. This atmosphere encouraged openness because everyone knew that truth could always be appreciated more than excuses. Gradually, communication became stronger, emotional security increased, and the relationships grew healthier. The children noticed that honesty also created fairness. Household responsibilities were shared equally, financial matters were discussed transparently, and important decisions involved everyone's opinions. Because each family member respected the truth, trust naturally flourished. They understood that honesty did not eliminate every challenge, but it made solving problems much easier because everyone worked together sincerely instead of hiding important information. Whenever relatives visited, they often commented on the peaceful environment within the home. Or would simply explain that peace was not created by avoiding problems, but by facing them honestly and with patience and mutual respect. Every family experiences disagreements, but honesty prevents misunderstandings from becoming permanent divisions. It allows forgiveness to replace resentment and cooperation to replace conflict. Honesty in friendships. Friendships also reflect the value of honesty. Out of belief that true friends celebrated one another's achievements sincerely and provided constructive guidance during difficult times. Genuine friendship did not require pretending to be perfect. Instead, friends encouraged one another to improve while maintaining kindness and respect. Such friendships remained strong because they were built upon trust rather than convenience. One of Arif's closest friends once made a significant mistake in an important project. Instead of criticizing him publicly, Arif spoke privately and encouraged him to acknowledge the error honestly. His friend followed the advice, accepted responsibility, corrected the issue, and eventually earned even greater respect from his colleague because of his integrity. This experience demonstrated that honesty often transforms mistakes into valuable learning opportunities. The children also discovered that honesty prevented jealousy from entering friendships. Instead of competing unfairly, they celebrated each other's achievements and learned from one another's strengths. They realized that genuine success becomes more meaningful when shared honestly with friends who sincerely wish for one another's happiness. Honesty in education. Teachers often reminded students that education was not merely about obtaining high marks but about developing strong character. Harv supported this belief wholeheartedly. He encouraged his children to complete assignments independently, prepare sincerely for examinations, and ask questions whenever they did not understand a subject. Honest learning developed confidence because knowledge was genuinely earned rather than borrowed through unfair means. The children gradually discovered that honest effort produced deeper understanding. Even when results were not perfect, they experienced satisfaction because every achievement represented their own dedication. Their teachers appreciated their sincerity, classmates respected their integrity, and learning became enjoyable rather than stressful. They understood that education prepared them not only for careers but also for responsible citizenship. Schools also become places where honesty encouraged teamwork. Students share ideas openly, respected one another's contributions, and acknowledged assistance gratefully. Such cooperation created an environment where everyone benefited from collective learning instead of unhealthy competition. Knowledge expanded naturally because truthfulness promoted curiosity and mutual respect. Honesty in professional life. As Arav progressed in his career, honesty continued to guide every professional decision. He completed assignments carefully, maintained accurate records, respected organizational policies, and communicated transparently with colleagues and customers. His supervisors appreciated his reliability because they knew they could both trust his work and his judgment. This reputation gradually opened opportunities for greater responsibility. He often reminded younger professionals that technical knowledge and experiences were valuable, but honesty transformed those qualities into lasting success. Skills could be learned through the education and practice, but integrity required continuous personal commitment. Every report prepared honestly, every commitment fulfilled sincerely, and every ethical decision strengthened professional credibility. Customers also valued transparent communication whenever they sought guidance. Arav explained procedures clearly without creating unrealistic expectations. His honesty built confidence than exaggerated promises. Over time, many customers specifically requested his assistance because they trusted his sincerity and professionalism. His workplace gradually recognized that honesty improved teamwork. Colleagues openly discussed challenges, shared knowledge willingly, and supported one another during demanding situations. Because transparency replaced unnecessary suspicion, productivity increased naturally. Everyone realized that trust was not merely an emotional quality but also an important contributor to organizational excellence. Honesty and leadership. Years later, Arav accepted a leadership role within his organization. Although his responsibilities increased significantly, his principles remained unchanged. He believed that leadership was not just about authority but also about earning respect through consistent ethical conduct. He listened carefully before making decisions, encouraged open communication, and recognized deserving employees fairly and accepted responsibility wherever improvements were needed. Employees appreciated working under a leader who valued honesty above personal recognition. They felt comfortable sharing ideas because they knew their opinions would be respected. Instead of fearing Arav cultivated confidence. Instead of encouraging competition alone, he promoted cooperation. Instead of taking credit individually, he celebrated collective achievements. Gradually, the entire team developed stronger morale and higher commitment. His leadership demonstrated that honesty inspires others more effectively than speeches alone. Employees naturally adopted ethical behavior because they observed it every day. Transparency improved decision making, fairness strengthened motivation, and trust encouraged innovation. The workplace became an example of how integrity contributes directly to professional success. Honesty during difficult times. Life, however, never remains free from challenges. Economic uncertainty, personal disappointments, unexpected setbacks, and professional pressures occasionally tested everyone's determination. During such moments, some people suggested taking shortcuts that appeared easier. Arav always reminded himself that temporary convenience should never replace lifelong integrity. Honest decisions might require patience, but they protected both character and reputation. His family supported these principles wholeheartedly. They believed that difficulties were temporary, whereas honesty created permanent strength. By remaining truthful during challenging circumstances, they preserved their self respect and continued earning the confidence of those around them. Every obstacle became an opportunity to demonstrate that values remain meaningful even under pressure. The children learned perhaps the most valuable lesson of all: honesty shines brightest when circumstances become difficult. Speaking the truth when everything is comfortable requires little courage. Remaining truthful despite uncertainty reveals genuine character. This understanding prepared them for future responsibilities with confidence and maturity. Conclusion. As many years passed, Arav looked back upon his journey with gratitude. He realized that honesty had quietly shaped every important aspect of his life. It strengthened his family, enriched his friendship, supported his professional growth, inspired effective leadership, and given him lasting peace of mind. Material success had certainly brought comfort, but honesty had given his achievements meaning. It had transformed ordinary moments into opportunities to build trust, demonstrate integrity, and serve others sincerely. His children grew into responsible adults who carried the same values into their own families and professions. They discovered that honesty was not an outdated ideal but a timeless principle capable of guiding people through changing circumstances. Every truthful conversation, fulfilled commitment, ethical decision, and sincere action contributed to stronger relationships and greater confidence. They understood that honesty never limits success. Instead, it ensures that success is respected and remembered. The story of Arab reminds us that honesty is not reserved for extraordinary individuals, it is practiced through countless ordinary decisions made every day. Speaking truthfully, respecting others, accepting responsibility, fulfilling commitments, maintaining transparency, and acting with integrity gradually create extraordinary lives. While talent, education, and opportunity certainly contribute to achievement, honesty provides the character that sustains those achievements throughout life. It builds trust, strengthens communities, inspires future generations, and creates a legacy that remains valuable long after material possessions fade. In both personal and professional life, honesty continues to be one of humanity's greatest strengths because it reflects the very best qualities of the human spirit. Disclaimer: this story is intended solely for educational, motivational, and informational purposes. The characters, situations, and narratives are illustrative and are designed to highlight the universal roles of honesty, integrity, ethical conduct, trust, and personal responsibility in both professional and personal life. Readers are encouraged to apply these principles thoughtfully while considering their own circumstances, workplace policies, organizational code of conduct, applicable laws, or cultural practices. The story does not provide legal, financial, professional, or psychological advice, nor does it guarantee any specific personal or professional outcome. The purpose of this article is to inspire positive thinking, ethical decision making, responsible behavior, and the lifelong practice of honesty as a foundation for meaningful relationships, sustainable success, and responsible citizenship. Thank you very much for your patience. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.